This is going to be a video from Mr. Met 40 ounce. Mr. Met, you recommended Ron Paul, one of Ron Paul's books to me, and I read it. I did not agree with the steps that were in the book, but I agree with the principle that we as a people and we as a nation and we as a government need to focus on the United States because things are not as they should be. I'm tired. I am tired of a lifetime of struggle. And right now I have that beautiful, beautiful house. And if financial security was a branch, I feel I've got one really good grip on that financial security. Not two hands, not two hands and both feet, just one hand. If anything were to happen to me, if I got in an injury, or if any kind of calamity happened in my life I started racking up bills, everything that I've worked my entire life for might be swept away from me. It might happen to anybody. But we have a gigantic section of people in the United States that make just nothing. They make nothing. And these people work hard. There's a guy that just made an article in the newspaper. I've been a little sick. I'm going to have a beer and see how that goes. Alright, this guy works, I think he works at like a convenience store or a chain store. He works at a chain store, let's say. He works two different jobs at two different stores. He works full-time at both. And he just lost his second job because when he got published in the paper, someone pointed out he works for the same the same company. So if he's working 80 hours, they owe him 40 hours of overtime. So the company's response to that took away one of his jobs. He's got kids, got a wife. They have medical issues. Apartment rent here in Oregon and Portland is through the roof. I actually pay less for my house per rent, for my payments are actually lower than a single bedroom apartment. There's a housing shortage. It's hard to find a house to buy even if you have the money. If you don't have the money, you're going to pay more to rent a small apartment than my house. We need opportunity. The American people need opportunity. And everyone's talking about like, oh, the poor. There's these poor people sucking off the government teat. There's a study on rats, actually. You got a cage, and there's water, and then there's water with that cocaine in it. And this rat will drink the cocaine water until it dies. The idea is that, like, oh, there's addiction, you know. There's poor choices that you can't overcome in your mind. So a scientist saw that and thought, I think that's kind of a bullshit study. And you know what he did? He put a big cage full of rats, and in that cage was those little teeny plastic boxes for like homes and bedding and different kinds of food and toys and things to climb on and other rats to interact with and find a mate and have children and supply the bedding and claim an area and have that be yours and have it be safe and have plenty of room around you. Some rats did hit that cocaine water actually, but not many of them, and a fraction of, compared to drinking the regular water, a fraction of the cocaine water. It was a little teeny bit. Almost as if that was confusion, really. The number was so low. So the idea being is, if you give people the opportunity, based on the study on rats, if you give a living organism the opportunity to explore their environment, to do well in it, to be productive, to learn, to interact, to find love and companionship, and to be a part of a system, they will choose that. The people that choose a destructive lifestyle, the people that choose nothing, I'm just going to do as little as possible, are feeling that they just don't have the opportunity. They don't have the chances and the choices that the rich have. I don't make very much money, and I make more than 40% of the entire United States. I don't make that very much money. I was looking at a hotel room to rent along the coast. It was $155, and I thought, shit, that's just too much. I bet you anything that hotel's like 40% full. You know, like that. You know, it'd be great if they could fill the rest of that, and they would be filling the rest of it if people made more money. You know, if I thought that sounds reasonable, instead of like $155 for one night. Good Lord. I went into a restaurant recently. It was 3 in the afternoon during happy hour. It was the weekend, and it was empty. It was a big restaurant. I went to a dollar rent-a-car at the airport. I was the only person in there. From an economy standpoint, if you don't provide the people the ability to make a lot of money, they're not going to spend a lot of money. The idea like, well, businesses will suffer if we have to pay our 6 employees more. But what if 60 people show up to buy a hamburger? Because they can afford it now. You know why we need education, and a good education for everybody, is because I hate going out the door and meeting stupid people. I'm sick and tired of having to explain things to people. And it's like, it's simple things, but like if you're only exposed to a small amount of humanity, if you're only exposed to a small amount of opportunities, simple things for a lot of us are rarities to a lot of people, a huge amount of people. They're rarities. I often talk to people every day that are worried about getting taken advantage of. I often have to explain, you're not being taken advantage of here, you're actually being helped. To a lot of people, because people are scared and paranoid, and they feel like they're being taken advantage of every direction they turn. It's kind of like everything's wonderful. We've got iPads and iPhones and Wi-Fi and all sorts of great toys. But yet we're scared. You know, we want guns to protect those toys, and our shoes, to keep people out of our backyards to steal our lawnmowers. We're scared to protect our kids, you know, and our dogs and our wives. Because there's people out there that have nothing, they've got nothing to lose, and they've got no chance for anything better. And I just think we need to have, I hate to use the word revolution, but a dramatic change from the status quo. The way things have been going, the vast majority of the wealth we produce as a people and as a country goes to a tiny amount of us. I feel comparatively rich. I feel the richest I've ever been in my entire life, but it's because I have a place to live. And no one can kick me out of here, you know, unless something goes wrong with how I take care of my life. Not very many people could say that, and if more people could say that, we would be a happier culture. To go back to the rat analogy, we'd just be a happier pack of rats. We wouldn't be wanting to steal anybody else's lawnmower, because lawnmowers don't cost that much. Mine cost $100. For some people, $100 is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It shouldn't be. Everyone should be able to afford a lawnmower. No one should have to want to steal one. I think this country's kind of given up on a large portion of its people, and I think that should be rethought. I think those people are an amazing resource. And like anything else, it needs to be managed in a productive way. And that means investing in the people of the United States. Investing on the people that are being ignored. Investing on the 40% of the people who make less money than I make. It breaks my heart when someone wants to buy something simple and they only buy a little bit of it because they can't afford any more. Something simple that they need, a basic. We need to do more for the people. We absolutely do.